What's going on, everybody? I believe today is day 14. Monday, day 14. I was gonna make a video yesterday, but we ended up going to our family's house and we cooked out, swam, got home kind of late, and then I just passed out. I was real tired. Sorry, I'm driving. I just hit a bump. That's why I'm over here shaking around. But man, the past 2 days have been the best days yet. Day 13 and 14. Okay, so I started Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, yeah. Yesterday was day 13. Today's day 14. I went to church yesterday, and the previous week it was my first time going to church since quitting, and I was like feeling anxious, you know. I had drank some caffeine too, so I'm sure that had something to do with it. But I just kept sitting forward and sitting back and kind of twisting and turning in my seat, and my legs were kind of rocking. And then yesterday, it was kind of the same situation. I drank caffeine, I had a tea, and then I drank some coffee, and I felt way better. So my nerves are like pretty much getting back to normal. Yeah, like almost back to normal. Not 100%. You know, the nighttime is always the hardest. To this day, I sleep for a few hours. I'll wake up. I might go use the bathroom, go back to bed. But I fall asleep pretty quick. You know, I'm not like tossing and turning like crazy. But I still toss and turn at night, for sure. That hasn't completely gone away. But I mean, I'm getting like, as long as I go to sleep at a decent hour, I'm probably getting between 6 and 7 hours of sleep now. Even though it's interrupted by myself, you know. Maybe one of these days I won't drink any caffeine, and we'll see how that affects me. But I'm getting some pretty good sleep now, compared to, you know, last week was week number 2. The week before that was the first week, and I got no sleep. You know, I was just, even making these videos was like, I mean, maybe some of them you couldn't tell, but I was dead tired that first week. So yeah, I mean, I seen people commenting, you know, if you're going on day 1, if you're thinking of starting day 1, it's like, yeah, you're gonna go through a few days of pain, promise you. But man, do I feel good, because I don't have to carry my Kratom anywhere. I don't have to wake up in the morning and be looking around like, oh, I need to take my Kratom before I can eat. You know, it's the middle of the day, and I'm like, man, I'm starting to get a little tired. I know it's time to take my Kratom around 3 o'clock, 2:30. And then at night, you know I have to take my Kratom before bed. I'm not driving around wondering like, oh, how much Kratom do I have? I'm almost done. I know I need to get some more, or I'm short on money this week, and I usually buy it by like the half kilo, you know. I did before, and you know, I'm not worried about that at all. It's not even crossing my mind. I'm not gonna lie, which I probably said before, but on Friday, last day of work, I drove past the Kratom shop that I always buy Kratom from, and they sell Kratom CBD and like that Kratom extract. They make it themselves, and it's the most powerful Kratom I ever had in my life. Their extract shots, because it's a company, I think it's based here in the state that I live in, and they have a few shops in the state, and man, do they make them powerful. They're potent. So they had 2 different kind of shots. They had one that was like, I don't know, 130 milligrams of metragenine or whatever you call it, and then another one that was like 280 milligrams, I want to say, if I'm even saying that right. It's something similar to that. But the lower dose one, it would get you a little bit. The higher dose one would jack you up. So I was driving by on Friday, and I was like, okay, one of those shots kind of sounds good. So that's my first craving, first and only craving I've had since quitting. But I just drove by, didn't really think about it anymore, and it went away. So it wasn't like calling me back, like, Keith, you need to come back. So yeah, the craving wasn't really bad at all. Not even nothing. I get harder cravings for cookies and pastries and stuff. But my bad. I probably shouldn't have done this while I was driving, because I'm over here paying attention to the road instead of the video. But yeah, I see a lot of people commenting. Not a ton, but you know, to me it's a lot of people commenting. Like, man, keep me posted, keep me posted. I'll keep posting, you know. All I can say is I feel so much better. I think my face looks healthier. My appetite's back, you know, I'm eating all the time. I get hungry, like I'll eat, and then an hour and a half later my stomach's growling. Like I'm constantly hungry now. For the past 3-4 days I've just been starving. Cause and I haven't done any of the science. I don't know nothing. But from what I know, Kratom is an appetite suppressant. You know, it doesn't make you want to eat. And I know that because my wife would she'd ask me all the time, like, you're not eating your lunch, or you're not eating that much. Like, what's going on? Or, but it's also weird because it's an appetite suppressant, but at the same time, like, you can't eat until you take your Kratom. That's how I was, at least. In the morning time, I was not hungry. I take me a heavy dose of Kratom. Soon as it kicks in, I'm hungry. And that's another way that I would abuse it. You know, you take a small amount of Kratom, something just to get you a little head rush or head high, and then, you know, you eat and it'll take your high away, the little high that you got. But if you take a heavy dose, you know, something that even might make you nauseous, and then you eat, you know, 10 minutes later, you'll just feel like pretty high, you know. So I was taking heavy doses all the time because I knew I was gonna eat in a little bit, so I'll take a real heavy dose. And then at night, you know, I'll take a triple, quadruple dose. That's why I'm still paying for it at night sometimes. But man, is it better, you know? You go through a week of, and I call it a week, but it's like, you know, you got 4 or 5 days where you're like, damn, this sucks. Especially the first 2 nights. This really sucks. And then after that, the withdrawals aren't as bad. Yeah, the withdrawals aren't so bad, but you still can't sleep for a while. So it's like, if you just tell yourself in your mind, like, all right, I'm not gonna get that much sleep for a couple weeks, you know. Just put it in your mind. But I'm gonna get through this. I'm not gonna get that much sleep. You'll get through it. Because I'm sleeping now, I'm eating now, I'm not having withdrawal symptoms. Like, I'm definitely on the upswing, you know. I think what's left after the withdrawals start going away, because I'm pretty much on the other side of that. Because really my only symptom is just tossing and turning at night here and there. I don't really have restless legs anymore. That might last longer for some people, you know, especially if you had anxiety before you started using Kratom. I'm really blessed because anxiety hasn't really been a problem in my life until I quit Kratom, you know, 14 days ago. Then some days I was getting real anxious. But, you know, once you get on the other side of that, of those withdrawals, I think a couple things that kind of stick around are the emotional stuff, you know. I was a big crybaby for the past couple of weeks, but the past few days I haven't even teared up at all, which is kind of odd, but I don't know. I was never a big crier. You know, I lost my grandfather a few years ago, and when I lost him, I became a pretty big crybaby. A lot of things will make me cry to do with him, you know. And I think that's kind of the reason I started using Kratom so heavily, because that happened. It all happened around the same time. And I think I was suppressing those emotions. Forgive me if I have repeated this, think I was suppressing those emotions, you know. So when I got off of it, I just felt everything. I was just crying every single day, multiple times a day. And then now I'm not feeling the need to cry all the time. But sometimes when I was on Kratom, it's like I was kind of lively, you know. It would be evening time, and I'd start getting like, all right, I'm ready for another dose. I take a heavy dose, and then it's like, hey, well, let's watch a movie, and you know, and I'm happy and lively, and everything's great. But when you quit Kratom, you don't have that thing, you know. I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not doing any drug. So sometimes you're with your family, or you're with friends, or you're with whoever, and you're not necessarily in the greatest mood. You know what I mean? You don't have that personality enhancer that you had before. So sometimes you'll just be sitting there kind of quiet. At least I do. Sometimes I'll sit there kind of quietly, and my wife's like, you know, everything's good. I'm like, yeah, everything's good, you know. And you just feel just a tiny bit. I don't know how to explain it. I don't necessarily want to say sad, because I don't feel like, oh, my life. You know what I mean? But it's almost like almost like you don't feel nothing. You know, it's just like, I don't feel happy right now. I don't feel like crying. I don't feel like, it's almost like you don't feel nothing. You know, and I think your emotions, that's what takes a while, or it's still taking a while for me to catch up, because I was always a real happy, lively person. My whole life, I've always been like that. And I think Kratom kind of brought that down over the past 5-6 years, to the point where I just wasn't that person anymore. And I think there's remnants of that now. That, you know, remnants of the Kratom, where I'm just kind of like, I don't know. There's just a weird lull every now and then. It doesn't happen all the time, because I'm real happy around my family, my kids, my wife. I'm very appreciative for them. But, you know, you can tell just out of nowhere it'll hit you, and you'll feel just kind of just odd. You'll feel off. You'll feel real off. Like I'll come home and I'll just want to lay on the bed for an hour or two. My wife, you know, she'll ask me, you know, like, you know, what's going on? You good? And it's like I couldn't ask for a better person to go through this with. You know, God knows we've had our problems over the years with each other. She's had her own problems that I've had to help her with, and vice versa, you know, over the years, 100%. But this, going through this with her, it's just, it makes it so much easier. So much easier. But that's kind of my update for day for 5-10 minutes afterwards, get a sweat going on. Swimming is a good workout, but I need to sweat, bang some weights around and jog for 10 minutes, because I mean, our endorphins are all messed up. Taking kratom, whether it's kratom, opioids, fentanyl, meth, you're releasing all these endorphins in your body, and your body's telling you, like, your body's like, okay, like, we don't have to make these anymore. So when you stop, that's half the reason why you're feeling down, sluggish, you don't have any energy. But I'm telling you, get you some vitamins, drink water, liquid IV, magnesium, vitamin C, eat some food. Do that. Get some food in you. First 4 or 5 days, you're not gonna want to eat anything for that time. The first week, you're not gonna want to eat much. Get that food in you. Eat some fruit. Even if you have diarrhea, eat what you want. Put it in your body. Healthy food. I was eating salads and fruit, and I was running right through me. If you got diarrhea, take some Pepto. Now, I mean, there might be some side effects to taking Pepto all day. That's probably not a healthy thing. But I would take Pepto, at least once a day when I was having diarrhea, to try to get a hold on it. And because everything's getting back into normal, Kratom makes you constipated. You stop using it, you're gonna get diarrhea. Easy. But eat some food, think healthy, pray, listen to music. Music is a huge one. Especially the first week and a half, I was just, everywhere I was driving, I was jamming loud, because I don't know what it is. It's a frequency, some good music. It just puts your body and your mind at a good frequency. Even if you're going through something painful, it's like, man, throw some good music on, have good people around you. And I know not everybody can do this, or not everybody has that great of a support system around them. And believe me, my heart goes out to you. But even if you make a new group, if you're going to a detox place or a recovery center, go talk to somebody. Just go to somebody that'll listen on these videos. You know what I mean? Like, holler at me, send me some messages. I mean, I'll talk to anybody all day, because I know what you're going through, and it's not easy. I don't care what anybody says. It's tough, hard. It's funny because my mom came over the first week. It was like day 3. She came over and visited me, and we went out, and I was a mess. Physically and emotionally, I was a mess. And she was like, "You'll be good. You've been through worse." And I turned around and I laughed and I said, "I don't know if I've been through worse. This sucks. This is pretty bad. I don't know if I've been through worse." And some people might laugh at that and say, "I've been through 1,000 times worse, but this was hard. This was real hard." But I'll leave you guys at that. I'll leave you guys with that. And comment. Let me know anything you want to know, and I'll respond. Appreciate you guys.